Ontario Transportation Minister Prabmeet Karkaria is announcing proposed changes to impaired driving penalties. Let's listen in.
We're proud to work with the Minister and his team on many efforts each year. There have been many initiatives that the Minister and the Ministry have embarked upon to strengthen laws, expand infrastructure, enhance access to transit, all while remaining focused on ensuring that Ontario has one of the safest road networks in North America. These efforts are ongoing, and just yesterday the Minister spoke about proposed solutions to help curb another challenge that is being felt nationwide, the rise of auto theft. We thank the Minister and his team for their ongoing focus in keeping Ontario's roads safe. It's now my pleasure to call on the Minister, Prabmeet Karkaria.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Elliot, for that kind introduction. It's great to be here at the Ministry of Transportation Conference Centre alongside representatives for the OPP, Deputy Commissioner, Canadian Automobile Association, and Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Every day, someone is killed driving on Ontario's roads. On average, 1 in 3 roadway fatalities involved impaired driving by alcohol or drugs. And our 2022 roadside survey found that 1 in 5 drivers stopped tested positive for drugs, alcohol, or both. When you get in the car under the influence, you're rolling a weighted dice. Victims of impaired driving are mothers, brothers, sons, and daughters. Too many lives have been turned upside down by the reckless and selfish actions of someone else. Too many families in Ontario have had their lives torn apart, families torn apart by the careless and shameful actions of an impaired driver. There is no excuse for driving drunk, and there is always a choice to plan ahead, phone a friend, call a cab, or take public transit. We're past the time for making excuses. That is why I'm announcing that our government is introducing legislation that, if passed, would impose tougher penalties for those who drive under the influence of alcohol or drugs, including a lifetime license suspension for those convicted of impaired driving causing death. We are also requiring anyone convicted of impaired driving to install an ignition interlock device in their vehicle, introducing mandatory remedial education and treatment for first and second-time alcohol and drug-related offences through the Centre for Addiction and Mental Health, CAMH, and increasing the length of immediate roadside license suspensions for first and second-time drunk and alcohol-related offences. As the police report increased incidences of cannabis-impaired driving, we'll also be launching a province-wide campaign highlighting the dangers and consequences of drug-impaired driving, as well as supporting law enforcement with additional funding and resources for drug detection during roadside enforcement. Everyone deserves to return home to their loved ones safely at the end of their night. There is never an excuse for getting behind the wheel impaired, and it's about time we stop making excuses for those who do. If you think there are no consequences for drinking and driving, my advice would be start planning for life without your car. We have a responsibility to keep Ontario families and communities safe. Every death caused by an impaired driver is preventable, and I wouldn't be able to look my family in the eye if I didn't do everything in my power to stop that. Tomorrow, we'll be unveiling even more changes to build safer roads and communities for everyone in Ontario, building on the stand we took against our car thieves yesterday. With that, I'll now pass it over to Carolyn to share more about her story and MAD's vision. Organizations like MAD are critical to Ontario. Their members have suffered unimaginable pain and channeled their energy into building a better tomorrow for all of us. Thank you very much. Carolyn, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. And thank you to the Ontario government, the Minister, for inviting me here this morning. I've been a volunteer with Mothers Against Drunk drunk driving for many, many years, as some of you will probably know. And it's sad that we still have to keep reminding people of the many, many people who are killed and injured every day in impaired driving crashes. And the reason that I became involved was because if you see the banner behind, that's a picture of our eldest son who was killed in an impaired driving crash on February the 12th in 1993, and that was 12 years almost to the day after my father had been also killed by somebody who'd been drinking. So for many years I've advocated for changes to the laws. Today we're very pleased to see the changes that the Ontario government is bringing in. They're very important to help get the message out that it's not okay to drink or take drugs and get behind the wheel of a car. And one of the things that we know that are important are the sanctions. And so to have the increased license suspensions, to have mandatory ignition interlocks, and which is, which allows people to get behind the wheel of a car, but they're going to be able to do it safely. And the one thing that I know that many of the people that I deal with, because I also do victim support for MAD, and unfortunately, I've attended 2 trials in the last 3 weeks of people who've had family members killed. And I know when talking to those victims, and I talk to them about people, someone who's killed somebody being able to drive again, their opinion is that they should never be allowed to get behind the wheel of a car again. So I know that all the victims that I deal will be very supportive of these actions, and we're really pleased that the Ontario government is bringing these changes in. The most important thing is that we need to keep our roads safe. People need to make the right choices. They need to make sure that before they get behind the wheel of a car, that they haven't been taking alcohol or drugs. We need to keep people safe. I would just love to not be doing this anymore because there are no more victims. So please, people, stay safe, be responsible, and do the right things. Thank you.